Good morning, folks. I'd like to call the meeting to order. My time shows it to be 10:01. In attendance are Charlene O'Brien, Mike Harris, myself, Jerry Sullivan, Bertha Corley, and Kelly Harrell. So we have full board members present. Okay. I'd like to go ahead and read well, number one, I'd like to thank the people that came in that are participating in the meetings. And I appreciate your involvement in the association. So I'd like to go ahead and read the Code of Conduct for Camp Branch Acres Property Owners Association. To ensure productive and respectful Property Owners Association meetings, all members in attendance are expected to adhere to the following Code of Conduct. Members who wish to speak must address the board directly and limit their comments to matters related to Camp Branch Acres business and community interest. Personal attacks, inflammatory remarks, or disruptive behavior directed at individuals, whether board members, property owners, or others, will not be tolerated. Any member who fails to comply with this code of conduct may be asked to leave the meeting at the discretion of the board. Okay. Next item is to the approval of the minutes from the last board meeting.
I had emailed the minutes out. Were people able to get a chance to look at the minutes from last meeting?
Yes.
When did you email those?
About 2.5, 3 weeks ago.
I never received them.
I don't think I did.
I was curious, that's why I asked you if we were going to be approving minutes.
I may have overlooked sending those out, folks. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I read over them this morning, and I didn't see any issues. Have you had the opportunity yet?
I can run through them. It's pretty quick. It's up to you. It's up to you, folks. I don't think we have that much else to cover
We really don't.
today.
Is that okay with everybody for him to read them, or do we want to have a chance to review them?
Oh, no, I think, just me personally, everyone please respond. I think it's perfectly fine if we have not had a chance to review them prior, it's necessary for him, so that we do not get behind on approving these minutes and can conduct business without being delayed. So I would say yes.
Okay, well, go ahead.
All right. Again, I apologize. I was sure I sent those out. Obviously, I don't see them there. So, regular board meeting was on Saturday, March 14, 10 a.m. to 10:49 at Joe Chambers. It was called to order. Jerry Sullivan called it to order.
Mike, would you mind speaking up?
Roll call was called to order at 10:01 for the March 14 meeting. Present Jerry Sullivan, Mike Harris, Charlene O'Brien, Bertha Corley, and Kelly Harrell. All board members present. Quorum was established. Opening remarks and the meeting guidelines. Chair Sullivan stated that this is a board meeting, not a general meeting, and questions from property owners will be taken at the end of the meeting, limited to 3 minutes per person. He reminded attendees to treat others as they would be treated, to address comments to the board, and posted the no open carry policy. Chair Sullivan thanked Tommy Parks, County Commissioner, and Lawrence Adonna, Constable, for attending. Approval of revised agenda. Chair Sullivan stated there was some confusion over agendas, as the agenda previously sent out differed from the one at the meeting Motion to accept the revised agenda, and it was made by Bertha Corley, seconded, and passed unanimously. Approval of February 7, 2026 meeting. Chair Sullivan asked if anyone had a chance to read the meeting minutes. Mike Harris stated that Bertha Corley had emailed a couple of changes which were addressed. Charlene identified spelling errors that were corrected. These changes were reflected in the updated copies provided. Additional clarification was made that Kelly Rom was incorrectly spelled, her last name. Road materials invoice corrected from $400 and $400.50 to $450 even. No further changes were requested. Those two were changed. Motion to approve was a unanimous vote. Treasurer's report. Treasurer Charlene O'Brien reported that as of the end of February 2026, dues collected $5,425. Donations collected $500. Total deposits $5,925. Expenses included Chico for $9.75. The trailer and sign repairs for $43.96. Additional expense listed $53.71. Ending balance.
Total expense, not additional.
Oh, total expenses. Okay. That's an easy change. Chair Sullivan asked if there were expenses needing approval. Treasurer stated none were submitted. Voted on, unanimous vote, passed. Secretary's report by Mike Harris reported that questions from property owners at the previous meeting were reviewed by the chair, and responses were posted on the website under documents, meeting member answers. Stated that moving forward, this process would continue. He's continuing to go through and reorganize the Google Drive archive, and once completed, additional information will be added to the website to make it easier for residents to find information. Also requested that residents submit photos from around Camp Ranch Acres, lakes, wildlife, scenery for use on the website. All meeting minutes are up to date and posted and signed. Approval sheets will be maintained for official records. Charlene O'Brien suggested adding the approval date on the front page of the minutes, which was acknowledged. Motion to accept the secretary's report. Vote was unanimously passed. Road report. Chair Sullivan stated the road continue to need maintenance. Plan is to use oil sand material as previously used on Camp Ranch Road. And based on discussion with County Commissioner Tommy Parks, the temperature needs to remain above 50 degrees for proper application. Work is tentatively planned for early May. Prior to that, temporary pothole repairs will be made. Request was made to obtain a bobtail load of rock from Texas Materials, noting the association has an active account credit with them. Chair Sullivan also stated the funds previously approved for the road work remain available. Joe Chambers has offered use of a mini excavator, and ditch work will continue as time and volunteers allowed. Road report accepted, passed unanimous vote. Old business, secretary position, bylaw clarification. Jerry Sullivan addressed the issue raised at the previous meeting regarding the secretary position and board compliance with current bylaws as brought forward by Kelly Harrell. The chair reviewed the current bylaws language in section C3, noting that it requires an annual election to maintain 5 directors and 1 secretary. Directors and secretary must be lot owners. The chair is elected from amongst directors and votes only in the case of a tie. Following a review and discussion, it was determined that current bylaws do not explicitly prohibit a director from serving as secretary. The board acknowledged the existing language lacks clarity and could benefit from revision. The board also reviewed a prior bylaw amendment filed by Kelly Rom in November 2023, which modified the 5 directors who would then elect a chair and secretary from amongst themselves. included additional governance provisions. However, it was noted it was not approved by a vote of the property owners and therefore is not valid or enforceable. Proposed action. To clarify the resolve the issue, the chair proposed placing a ballot measure at the upcoming annual meeting, allowing property owners to vote on amending the bylaws section C3 to permit a board member to serve as secretary, clarify board structure moving forward. During discussion, Mike Harris emphasized the property owner involvement and voting authority in determining board structure. It was noted that restructuring could improve participation by reducing required volunteer positions, allow the secretary to serve as a voting board member, and provide clarity and alignment with governing practices. It was further discussed that the proposed language should also include the treasurer position as part of the structure. The motion to place a ballot item at the annual meeting to allow property owners to vote on restructuring C3 of the bylaws regarding board composition and officer roles was made by Mike Harris, seconded by Charlene O'Brien. And vote Mike Harris, it was passed unanimously. Zephy account discussion. Kelly Harrell raised a question regarding Zephy payment system, specifically whether current payments were being processed through a new account or a previously established account. Treasurer Charlene O'Brien confirmed a new Zephy account was established in connection with the current CBAPOA banking arrangement. The prior account was not reused or modified, but instead a separate account was created. Kelly Harrell noted that she had received communication from Zephy indicating potential issues with payouts. Zephy representatives indicated that the account may have been modified rather than replaced, raising concerns due to differences in organizational structure. Discussion followed regarding possible discrepancies between Zephy system records and board actions, the need to ensure that the correct account structure is in place, and clarification of account ownership and contact information. The treasurer stated that she would follow up with Zephy to resolve any discrepancies or confusion. It was acknowledged that payments are currently being processed through Zephy. Any issues appear to be related to account configuration or communication with the provider rather than board authorization. No formal motion was made on this matter. New business discussion of the 2026 budget was conducted. Jerry Sullivan introduced discussion of the proposed 2026 budget using the 2025 budget as a reference point. Key proposed changes and discussion points for the budget: legal fees, recommended increase to $2,500, later adjusted during discussion to approximately to $3,000 to account for review and revision of bylaws, consultation with an attorney experienced in property owners associations. Road maintenance, budgeted at $8,000, consistent with prior year. Noted that prior year funds remain available, strengthening road maintenance capacity. Office supplies, estimated at $400 based on anticipated needs for ballots, mailings, etc. Liability insurance, adjusted upward to approximately $1,600 to reflect likely cost increases. Postage increased to $400 to account for expanded mailings, including ballots and certified mail. Secretary compensation, proposed removal of secretary pay contingent upon approval of the restructuring for the secretary serving as a board member. Incoming considerations, treasurer noted a decrease in income sources due to property transfers. Current financial position includes approximately $23,000 in bank balance and additional receivables outstanding. Budget balance concern, Kelly Harrell expressed concern that the proposed budget would leave approximately $100 remaining, indicating a tight operating margin. Other board members noted that actual expenditures may not reach full budgeted amounts and that reserves remain available. Motion to approve the 2026 budget was made. by Mike Harris, seconded by Bertha Corley. Vote was Mike Harris, aye. Charlene O'Brien, aye. Bertha Corley, aye. Kelly Harrell, nay. Motion passed 3-1. For member comments, Sandra Kelly asked about the Zephy account and why coordination had not resolved the issue. Charlene O'Brien stated that she had taken all steps to close the old account and open a new one and did not know why emails were still being sent referencing the old account. Kelly Harrell clarified that emails were sent to the CBAPOA email account. Susie Horn commented the account management should be handled through the treasurer to avoid confusion. Chair Sullivan stated the issue would be addressed outside the meeting and it could not be resolved during the meeting. Adjournment. Motion to adjourn, Mike Harris, seconded by Bertha Corley. Passed unanimously. Meeting adjourned at 10:49 a.m. The board went to executive session at that point. The executive session held to discuss transfers with delinquent balances, current delinquencies and amounts owed for property dues, priorities for filing liens on delinquent properties, and statute of limitations for liens. And that is the minutes.
You need to specify
Oh,
that it was decided to file liens on 3 property owners.
okay.
And the decision was made that liens on any property owner 3 years in the rear would be filed. Please.
Mm-hmm. And what was that second part?
Liens on any property owner 3 years in the rear would be filed. And basically, it's just the detail on what you just said.
Changes will be made to the executive session to reflect that we discussed we intend to file liens on 3 property owners for dues that are in arrears, and liens on property owners 3 years in arrears, 3 years or more in arrears will be filed. In other words, once you hit the 3-year mark and it's not taken care of, liens will be filed. Any comments or changes I need to make on?
Just fix the spelling of Kelly's name. She's the E on the Y.
Okay. And that was from the previous meeting, so I had fixed that.
No, it's in this one.
Oh, I did it
Again, yeah.
All right. Which page? Pages are at the top.
It's when you're talking about the changes, the modifications. Page 5.
Page 5, changes.
Second paragraph, the board reviewed a prior law amendment filed by Kelly Rom.
So Kelly,
She's a E, not a Y.
Kelly Roth.
oh,
R-A-H-M.
R-A-H-M.
Yeah,
Right.
K-E-L-L-E,
Oh, at the end. Okay, I'm sorry.
not Y.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm good.
You good, Sean?
Yes.
All right. I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from the March 14, 2026 board meeting
With minor corrections.
with minor corrections that will be made before posting.
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
All right, seconded by Bertha Corley.
Vote.
Vote?
Got a vote?
Aye.
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 Okay, so
Just
we,
one sec. So Kelly Harrell, aye. Bertha Corley, aye. Mike Harris, aye. And Charlene, aye. And I'm just reading those out because we're recording the meeting, and that just makes clarification when I go to do the meeting minutes. Thank you.
that's what I was about to do.
Oh.
Thank you.
Sorry.
All right. Can we, Now let's move on to the treasurer's report.
Camp Branch Acre Property Owner Association Treasurer's Report, April 1st through April 30th, 2026. Beginning cash on hand, $26,356.96. No dues were collected during this time frame. No donations. We had one expense of $9.75. Ending balance cash on hand in the checking account, $26,347.21.
Question. You say no dues were collected?
None that were deposited in April.
That were deposited in April.
Correct.
Okay.
Were there dues collected in March after the meeting?
No, I just know that there was one that came in recently for the gentleman who owns the blue.
I do have that. It has not been deposited. It has not been posted on April's bank account.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, I'm expecting another one also. I
Okay.
haven't received it yet.
Okay,
That I've been confirmed that they were sending it in. There's still several hanging out there that I don't have any answers for. Other than they're just not gonna pay it. I mean, I have a couple of those out there that they flat told me they're not gonna pay it.
okay. Do we have any expenses that need to be approved?
I do have one. It's the trailer tags. That paperwork has come in. There was also the expense for the road base. The expense was $665.15 on April 7th, 2026. We had a credit balance of $595.45, leaving the balance that will be due on that once we're invoiced, $69.70. The expense on the trailer tag is $61.25.
We have a motion to approve these expenses.
Could I ask a question first?
Yes,
What is the trailer used for?
we haul trash in it from whenever we pick up stuff around the association.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
It doesn't get used that often, but occasionally we do have the need for it. It's just like whenever we start working on cleaning out some of these ditches, there's trash that we're gonna have to put into it and take for disposal.
okay, got you. I know I have a small one that tags are the same amount, and it's probably the same size trailer y'all got.
Yeah. Okay.
I quit buying them.
Understand. Anyway, do we have a motion to approve these expenses?
I make a motion to approve the minutes, the expenses.
I second.
Okay. I think it's, okay, have a vote.
Aye.
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 Charlene O'Brien, aye.
Okay. So we had aye from Kelly Harrell, aye from Bertha Corley, aye from Mike Harris, aye from Charlene O'Brien. Motion passed. I'm not sure we actually need to vote on that, but we're doing it. It's done. Okay. Is that anything else for the treasurer's report, Charlene?
Not on the treasurer's report. I do have a suggestion. In the event that the secretary position is dissolved, I propose that we add a line item with the same dollar amount for maintenance and repairs. currently we have a maintenance amount stuck in other, and we have an amount stuck in other, and it was for the repair of the trailer lights, which would be maintenance. And then we also have, from time to time, repairs. Buying paint for the bollards and things like that would fall in that category.
Okay.
Food for thought.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
We already did it.
We did.
We did?
We just
Okay.
did.
All right. Fine,
Yep.
then. Now we'll move on to the secretary's report.
Secretary's report, the ballot for the changes to the secretary position in our bylaws and covenants was mailed out on Thursday. It was also emailed out as well. What you'll see the wording on there from what it is in the current bylaws to what the proposed was to make that change. To have the secretary position be on the board, part of the board, as opposed to the outside of the board. So please be on the lookout for that. It was emailed out, and it was also mailed out as well. One correction on not so much. One correction on there that one thing that I overlooked, and it's not a bad thing. But when I was preparing the ballots, Charlene was good enough to provide me with a inside Texas property code under the ballots, and this is where I mixed things up. It said in the ballots that, in ballot section of Texas property code, that in a property owners association election, written and signed ballots are not required for uncontested races. So when I was putting the ballot together, I got a little confused on that, and I had lost what was submitted to me. So under the separate section of election of board members, it says in section 209.00593, it says, notwithstanding any provision in a dedicatory instrument, any board members whose term has expired must be elected by owners and are members of the property owners who are members of the property owners association. So Charlene wasn't available at the time, and I was kind of on a little bit of a self-imposed deadline to get the votes out. So you'll see on the ballot that it has the three candidates, has Charlene O'Brien, has Jerry Sullivan, and it has Mr. Eric Cravey, who's with us today, listed on there. Now, when since there were no other submissions for a board, it was just it's considered an uncontested election. So I'm encouraging everyone to still go ahead. And my concern with this was it said, notwithstanding any provision in a dedicatory statement, any board member whose term has expired must be elected by the owners, who are members of the Property Owners Association. So I wanted to be sure that we're 100% compliant with Texas Property Code, and I went ahead and put the ballot together with those on there. So that makes sure we're 100% compliant. So I'm encouraging everybody to just follow through with that, and they can fill out the ballot and go by what's printed on the ballot. As you can, 3 positions open, and you can fill out the three spots that are there. There's also a part of the ballot you'll see on there for proxy votes and explanation of all the different ways you can vote as well. Everything else from the secretary position, nothing else to add to that.
Any questions or comments?
No.
Okay. Charlene?
So if on the ballot, one of those 3 names gets no vote, that person isn't elected to the board.
Correct. But at the same time, there's also the flip side of that says actually I take that, I retract what I said there. Texas Property Code clearly says in section C under ballots that in property owners association election, written and signed ballots are not required for uncontested races.
So if the person gets, even if a person gets 0 votes, it's an uncontested election, they will be elected.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Comments? Okay. Let's, do I have a motion to accept the secretary's report?
Bertha Corley, I make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay. All right. Let's vote.
Aye.
Bertha Corley, aye.
Mike Harris, aye.
Charlene O'Brien, aye.
Okay, so Kelly Harold voted aye. Bertha Carley voted aye. Mike Harris voted aye. Charlene O'Brien voted aye. Motion passed to accept the secretary's report. We'll move on to the road report. As stated in the previous, at the previous meeting, we are planning on beginning to make repairs to the roads in May. This is May the 2nd. We haven't started yet, but I think the weather has a lot to do with that. And looking at the weather forecast for next week, we probably won't get anything done next week because the forecast shows there to be rain on Wednesday and for there to be rain on Saturday and Sunday. Okay. Now we did get the rock, the load of rock, and Tim O'Brien has graciously used his tractor and equipment, and he worked on the roads some this week, and it's really appreciated. I've received comments from property owners saying that they appreciate what's being done, and I have been busy with some other things and I haven't had the time to dedicate to it, but I will here shortly. So anyway, we appreciate what Tim's been doing, and we'll continue to work on the roads and do what we can in preparation of getting ready to put down the oil sand material. In the meantime, I received a call from Travis Elliott earlier this week, and he volunteered to pay for 2 loads of road base to be used to put in the worst potholes on Ramp Road and down towards Shad, to fill those deep holes in so that we won't have to use as much rock, and we'll have a good stable base when we put down the oil sand. So I talked with Tommy Parks, and he said that he will deliver the 2 bobtail loads of road base as soon as the borrow pit is dry enough to where they can dig the materials, load it, and bring it in. Okay. So we may get lucky, and he may be able to deliver it next week. But if not, we're looking at the following week. We'll get that material in, and once it's dry enough to where we can lay down the road base, and then what rock we need, and then the oil sand, we will be doing so. Okay. We've got volunteers. Travis says that he's got volunteers with equipment I'll volunteer my equipment and operation. I'm assuming Tim will continue to do so. And I've talked with SK, who has a bigger machine than what I have, and he says if he's available, and if machine's available, he'll definitely help us out on spreading the material. So things should start happening in May. I know everybody's anxious to see that happen, and I appreciate everyone's patience and their contributions and the things that they volunteered. That's my report. Any questions?
Sounds great to me.
Okay. All right.
I have a suggestion, Jerry.
Okay.
In a form of tracking and prioritizing what needs to be done, I suggest that they email CBAPOA with a deficiency that a property owner sees in this neighborhood. As those come in, those are put on a list, prioritized once a month by you, whatever schedule you think you can get to it, and then notify those folks when that work will be done. At the same time, asking for volunteers, set a date. I don't see, other than having to go back and read the minutes and make notes on how to track who's telling us what repairs need to be and where, how we're prioritizing them, and what the schedule for getting them done is. And I know we've been in a holding pattern with regard to road repairs forever, it feels like. So this is just a suggestion moving forward that may be helpful.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Tim?
Did you say the road base was coming in end dumps? Because normally it comes in belly dumps.
These two loads are coming in end dumps.
Excellent. Good.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Okay, do I have, oh wait, I forgot to add one other thing. We noted, we had a little hole developed down at the culvert that we put in after the washout, and we inspected it, we repaired it, we repaired the hole, and then we took some metal and we welded metal between the guardrails where there was space for material to wash through. So we did that 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I thank Garrett for doing the welding, and we had the material available, so it was all donated, no expense to the association. And we'll continue to monitor that. I haven't had a chance to go down and inspect it since the heavy rain we've had this week, but I will be doing that this weekend to see if there's any additional that we need to do to make sure that there's no deterioration there. There's cones there right now. I left them there because I wanted to make sure that our repair was good before I picked them up. So that's the situation, okay? Do I have a motion to accept the road report?
I'll make a motion to accept.
I
Mike.
second.
Okay. Mike Harris made a motion to accept. Bertha seconded. We have a vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Mike Harris, aye.
Charlene O'Brien, aye.
Okay. Kelly Harold voted aye. Bertha Carley voted aye. Mike Harris, aye. Charlene O'Brien, aye. Road report is accepted. Old business. Do we have any old business to discuss at this point? Okay. I assume we don't, since nobody spoke up. So we'll move on to new business. have any new business items to discuss? I think the only new business that I'm aware of is the road situation right now. So, okay,
I would like to make note that I'm gonna donate a roll of stamps to Charlene for the ballot mailing.
okay.
Thank you, Bertha.
Bertha Carley will be donating a roll of stamps to Charlene for the mailing of the ballots and the notice. Yeah, notice of annual meeting. It's all combined, and I assume it is.
Yeah, so for the ballots, Jerry provided the envelopes, and Jennifer and I covered the cost for the mailing for the ballots. So that's no cost to the association, as well as the paper and printing and everything for that. So Jen and I we just went ahead and did that. So that's no cost to the association. So, but that is appreciated because that'll go to work. It'll go to good use.
Very
for
much,
sure.
very much so.
So, or general use?
Yes.
Bertha?
Yes.
Yes, so she said for the mailing of the ballots and or general use. Okay. Time. Anything else? New business? Okay. Time for members' comments. Well, if anybody wants to make a comment, discussion this morning? Tim?
I foolishly volunteered for the Trinity County Sheriff's Citizens Advisory Panel, and more foolishly, they accepted me. We had our first meeting last night, and he gave us homework, which I didn't know was part of the deal. But it was to reach out to the community to find out what are their top concerns with the Sheriff's Department, what can they do better. Their focus is really on getting to the youth before they become drug addicts and running with the wrong crowd. So any suggestions we have that they could use to reach out to the youth would be greatly appreciated. And then if there are any organizations you think they should jump in and be part of, like I'm talking about like churches or Lions clubs or things like that, what he's really after is candid, unfettered feedback. He said if they're afraid, they can have my phone number, they can call me, or they can go through you guys, and you guys bring it to me. But he is really anxiously seeking feedback. So anybody that has any, please let me know, and I'll be happy to take it on with or without your name, depending on how you want that.
Okay.
I have one more.
Go ahead.
And it's just an opinion in the world according to Tim. I'm a little disappointed in this board that we got sidetracked with this change to the bylaws when we had a bylaw committee that had been working diligently, and suddenly that just got shelved. And based on the comment of one member, we jumped up and decided to change bylaws. I think that was a bad knee-jerk reaction. I also think the ballots that are going out, we got inundated with ballots by the last board. We don't need that from this board. The world according to Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. I have a motion to adjourn.
Bertha Corley, I make a motion to adjourn.
Have a second?
Second by Mike Harris.
Okay. Have a vote.
Aye. Bertha Corley, aye.
Mike Harris, aye.
Carlene O'Brien, aye.
Okay. Okay, Kelly Harold voted aye. Bertha Carley voted aye. Mike Harris voted aye. Charlene O'Brien voted aye. Motion passed. We are closed. Please, the board members, please remain. We have a
Next
executive.
meeting, got skipped again.
Okay, I skipped the next meeting date and the time again. So the next meeting date will be the annual meeting. That is the Saturday before Memorial Day.
23rd.
Okay? That's the Saturday before Memorial Day. That is May the 23rd. It will be at 10 o'clock a.m. It will be at this location, Joe Chambers.
It's gonna be, what, give the date again?
May the 23rd, Saturday.
At 10?
Yes, ma'am. That's the Saturday before Memorial Day.
Okay.
Okay. Board members, please stay.
Thanks, everyone.